Hey, what's happening, guys? Gamer Dev Tim here, and we're gonna go through all the add-ons that I use to create this beautiful UI that I've just put together. And if we go through each add-on individually, I'll show you what they do, what their purposes are, and why they're important to my progression in WoW Classic. So if you hit the escape button and we click on add-ons, Bag Brother, Bagnon, all the way down through Bagnon Void Storage are all the same thing. They basically allow you to store data about what's in your bags. And then one is a single window display for your inventory in your bank. This is an option menu. This allows you to have a single window display for your guild bank if you are a guild leader. Void storage, single window display for your void storage. And if we go here, this is all I use it for, really. I'm not far enough along that being a guild leader is something that concerns me or will ever concern me again. But it basically allows all your bags to be in one easy place, just like this. Instead of having like 5 different bags going up and down your screen, and it's kind of annoying moving everything around, you got all your stuff all in one place. And so that's what I use Bagnon for. Now, if we go back to add-ons, we've got Bartender. Bartender is what I used in conjunction with Masqué to create my action bars and to move my experience bar down here, and then what I used to move my other bars over here. Let me show you what Bartender does. So Bartender, if I click on it like this, I have the ability to move these bars all around. I can click on them and drag them, but I have them in the perfect position, so I don't want to do that right now. But I can show you with the bag bar because I don't mind. But so I can just lock that, and now all of a sudden the bag's in the middle of my screen. If I click on it again, I can take my bag and I can, bring it back to where it was before. So these are a little more touchy and finicky to get into the perfect position. So what I tend to do with those is you bring them to the approximate location. So I'll use my bag again. I want this directly on top of my gnomes. I don't know. Sometimes it can be a little difficult. Yeah, I want it at the very. It doesn't matter. Let's go like this. I'll show you what I'm referring to. You can go to. What am I dragging right here? That is my bag. So what is the bag bar actually called? Bag bar right here. So if I want to move the positioning of the bag bar, that's a bad location for it. I'll bring it over here. And now I can move it little by clicking the Y and the X offset. So if you need it in a very specific spot and dragging it's not getting it done for you, you just go into this, you left click on bartender, you right click on bartender, you go down to the bag bar, and then you click on the X offset, Y offset, and you move them in the direction that you want for this to look as good as it possibly can. I think I even like that positioning a little more than where I had it previously, so we're going to leave it there. Going through bartender a little further, you have to know which bar you're dealing with in order to move them around. My pet bar is right here, so you can see that. I think my scaling is a little low for this. I think I want to go back to like 1.0 on the scale of my pet bar. And then I might go to the positioning and go to the X offset, and then I'm going to move my pet action bar so it's right in the middle like that. That looks good. And then when you do stuff like that, it doesn't look as good any longer. But now I can see they're easier to click on if you don't have everything keybinded. You can see them a little bit better. I'm actually going to go back to the pet bar, and I'm going to go back down to 0.8. Reduce that, and then I'm going to bring it back over all the way to right about here. Yeah, and then I might even bring it down a tad. Yeah, I like that. That looks a little bit better to me. I like it a little smaller. It gives me a little more freedom all the way around my screen. Sorry, I know my icon is right here on my screen. Oh, looks like we have a fight. Gonna take this guy out. Oh, well, this brings me to quartz right here. Quartz is an awesome add-on. Love it. There we go. We're going to take this guy out.
Recharging.
Okay, so quartz is the casting add-on that I have, but we're not done with bartender just yet. Let's go into bartender a little further. I want to show people... I want to show you guys what I have hidden underneath this. So I have these icons underneath currently, my icons, so you guys can't see because my video image of myself is in the way. I like it a lot because it's really good for allowing you to just customize your UI and make it as efficient as possible. I mean, I have 2 slots right here, a bag right here, and this glossed over finish is so cool looking. It's so silky smooth. It looks awesome. It's way cooler than the traditional UI. The only thing I wish I could change is my combat and general chat log. I wish I could move this further down. I'm sure there's an add-on for that. I haven't discovered it yet, but I've done enough today that I now feel confident with the UI that I've given myself. I even extended and customized my XP and my reputation bar with bartender as well. The next thing that all of you guys are probably going to notice is my UI over here. My actual unit frames are totally different. I moved the guy that I'm targeting directly to the middle of the screen, and then I have that target's target. So obviously if you're targeting yourself, then it's just an infinite loop and you're just going to display yourself right here a million times. But it's really nice for combat situations. I'll show you what I mean. This guy's coming now, and you can tell he's targeting me. Now he's targeting my pet. And it's really easy because you can see my pet is targeting him and he's targeting my pet. So in both circumstances, I have the guy that I want to attack. And then onto this quartz action bar, it displays the latency at the end of the bar. So what that means is your server is going to have a certain amount of lag associated with it, and there's going to be a difference in time between when it registers. I didn't realize I was in... These guys must have been dead when I first came here, because I wasn't getting jumped so hard like this before. Really? What, is he enraged? Why is he red? There we go. Bring my guy back. Okay, so... yeah, I think we're good now. So quartz is really nice because it basically allows me to determine the latency of the enemies that I'm fighting, of the server. And then, so I can basically, when I'm casting, let's see if you can see one here. You can see at the very end of this bar, there's this little red slot. When I can actually start moving when this bar hits that red slot, and it'll still cast. I screwed that one up, and it's very close at the bottom right here. But I'm going to do my best to show you guys what I mean. I mean, it's so close to the end, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can see how it actually got canceled, but it still casted the Voidwalker for me. That basically means that from when I started summoning the Voidwalker on my local machine, my actual computer, to the latency on the server of when they detected it, I think there's some offset there to try to get the predictability of when you summoned your Voidwalker just right, and this determines what that offset is for you, so you can start casting your spell ahead of that other spell being finished, and that allows you to get extra casts in, and it's just a really cool looking add-on overall. So it allows you to do more damage, and it also allows you to just have some really cool looking action bars. If we move down here, so that was bartender, and we got rid of quartz. Gather mate 2, I don't think I've really used gather mate too much just yet. I think I can go type /gather mate. So if I type /gather mate, I can go show mining nodes only with profession, Basically, what this add-on does for me, which is really nice, is if I find I'm an herbalist. So if I find an herb just randomly around one of these areas and I use that herb and I pluck it from the ground, if I ever come back to this area, I will then have something on my mini map being like, hey, you found an herb here at one point in time. Why don't you come back to this specific location and you might find another herb here? And it just increases your chance, your percentage chance of finding herbs that you otherwise would not have found because you wouldn't remember the location of the previous areas that you have been to. So that's Gatherer right there. Let's see what else we got here. We have Masqué and Pit Bull. So Pit Bull was the unit frames that I used to change up my UI. So Pit Bull's a little confusing. It took me a little bit of time to get this just right. When you're configuring this, if you use the Pit Bull add-on, please do yourself a favor and go config mode, disable, go to party. This is going to show you every single unit frame that is going to be, enabled based on the settings you put within the units tab. So you have your player, you have your player's pet, you have your player's pet's target, your target, and your target's target. So that's all really nice, and you can customize the size of these. So I can go with like my target's target. So this is my target, and then this is my target's target. And then I can now take the scale and I can blow it up or do whatever I feel like doing with the target's target. So it takes a little while to get used to, but I put my player pet here. I put my player's pet's target right here. I put my target here, and then my target's target over there. And then for my party, I just moved them customized. Like I just custom moved them like right over here, just so it's kind of in line with this. And I think it looks really cool. A couple of the changes I made to make it look specific to how it is right now. I went into bars, and then I went into bars, and then I believe I went down to health bar, clicked on this, and I took off color PvP by class. So if I go color by class, it'll make my health bar the warlock color. I didn't like that, so I took that off so it's green. And then I also, with the texture, you can change the style of the actual bars themselves. I went with minimalist. I thought it looked just the most crisp. I took the experience bar off it. You can really bog this down. It looks like I can go reputation bar. I can take the reputation bar off, which is really nice because I'd rather have my reputation bar underneath or something I can specifically look up. And how did I get my favorite part about this, honestly, is the character portraits. I love the 3D model character portraits. And that is in Pitbull somewhere. I just need to find it for you guys. Text, faders, aura, other, border, background. It's in here somewhere. It's right around here. I'm not exactly sure where. Okay, so I'm gonna find this, and when I find this, I'm gonna make it so we're gonna edit this part out. Okay, so if you go into indicators and you go down to portrait, you can go to the portrait right here and go enable, and this allows everybody to have a portrait. And you can choose 3D style, 2D style, or class, and then you can choose which side you want them to be on. I can move everybody to the right, I can move them on top, or I can move it to the left. I prefer to have them on the left. I think it's the most crisp. I don't know what this full body... Oh, full body versus portrait. I can see the entire unit versus just like their face. And the fallback style, I guess, is... I have no idea. 3D question mark. I'm just going to go with blank like it was already set as. But you can see that Pitbull has a lot of functions that you can play around with, which is really nice to totally customize your unit frames experience. So if I go back to Pitbull, I got to go back to disable. There you go. So now it's just going to be as I want it to be. Oh, wait, hold up. Oh, that was annoying. Where is Pitbull? Okay, I should have locked frames. Always lock your frames. So now if I kind of screwed up, you want to see everything to make sure you're not placing something on top of another thing. And then go to locked. Make sure that frame movement is on locked and you disable it. And now when I go to grab my guy, I can't move his party frames around. Another thing you want to pay attention to there. If we go back into add-ons, I already showed you guys Quartz. We have Deadly Boss Mods and Questy. Deadly Boss Mods is essentially a boss mod that's going to say, hey, you're fighting Ragnaros. He's going to spawn elementals to fight you in 20 seconds. Maybe use your wand to attack and do damage instead of using your mana, because if you don't kill the ads fast enough, it's going to be an instant wipe. Deadly Boss Mods just tells you you're fighting a boss right now. This is about what's going to happen, and you need to prepare for that or do X, Y, and Z to ensure that you guys succeed and you don't die. So that's all Deadly Boss Mods is, and it'll have like updates on the middle of your screen, like from here to here. It's going to be like, hey, Illidan's enraging, need to kill in 2 minutes, or fire incoming, move. So that's all Deadly Boss Mods does. It hasn't really been useful for me just yet, but that's only because I'm not actually in instances yet that are super aggressive. Let's see what else we have here, guys. So we have Questy. Questy is really nice. Basically, it'll show me wherever I need to go, what quest items there are. So I look at the map right now, and it says for the Blackrock Menace quest, we can go over here for the Battle-Worn Axes. For the Underbelly Scales, Underbelly Whelp Scales are down here. And I can go up here for the Shadowhide Pendants from Solomon's Law, and then Blackrock Bounty, 0 of 15 Blackrock Champion Slade up here in the hills. And that quest is a level 25 quest. I'm not strong enough to currently do that. So Questy is awesome. If you don't have Questy, you're totally lost. You need to get Questy like immediately. Details, I haven't used details in a little while, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a Dead Mines instance. Alright guys, so here is a damage meter example. We have Questy activated right now, and currently we're dealing with some add-ons, and basically this gives us a really good idea of how much damage we're doing relative to the other people in our group. In this circumstance, the group didn't exactly wait for me to be ready. I told them to give me a little bit of time, but that's okay. We're slowly catching up right now, it seems. Yeah, even with them not giving me enough time, I still ended up going number 1 on DPS. I think you guys watched that video over. You'll realize that the other people were casting when I was still trying to start the video. Anyways, you can see where the damage came from. Mostly Shadow Bolt, Immolate, Corruption, and Curse of Agony. You can see Curse of Agony, Auto Shot from his... I definitely need that. Auto Shot from his Wand, Firebolt from his Imp, and then Corruption, and then he used Shadow Bolt maybe like once. And then the other guys were Heroic Strike, Rend, and all of those things too. And basically, it's a really good indicator of how much damage you're doing and where you need to be. So if someone else is out damaging you by a fair margin and they have way better gear than you, then I wouldn't worry. But if you inspect someone and you guys have similar gear, I would then be worried, be like, okay, why is he out damaging me so much because we have similar gear? Maybe my order of operations with the spells that I'm casting is off. Maybe there's something wrong with the targeting that I'm doing. Maybe there's something wrong with your talents. Your talent tree can be a heavy indicator. If you hit N, you can open up your talent tree, and you can see within your talents, hey, do I have the correct talents to, sufficiently do enough damage? Now, this is mostly important for raiding and PvE. It's not so important for PvP. It really doesn't actually matter for PvP at all, because staying alive and killing the other person matters more. So if staying alive means doing less damage from time to time, that would be something you would focus on. But I like Questy a lot. It gives you the interface option that you're looking for here. It'll tell you where the sources of damage came from, and it's relatively accurate, and I mean, it's really sleek and nice to look at too. You can move it around. It's really easy and customizable. You can lock it in place, and then there's a whole lot of other functions you can use when you go through here as well. You can reset the data. If I go here, reset overall data, I wonder if you can only do that when it's outside of combat. I'm not exactly sure. But with all damage meters, you can reset the data so that if something is currently saying, oh, this guy outdamaged me, but that was like 3 boss fights ago, you don't have to worry about that. Alright guys, so that's about it for this video. If you have any questions on the add-ons that I'm using, please let me know. I would be super pumped to help you guys out in any way I can. Basically, I think Questy is the most important, but all of them are awesome in their own unique way. I really love how simple and sleek this new UI is. The new unit frames are awesome too. Quartz, understanding the latency of the server and how you can cancel cast time animations to increase your damage per second is super vital. All of these add-ons are going to be used in conjunction with one another to create the best possible experience in World of Warcraft, and they do take a little while to get working properly. So if you guys have any other questions regarding how to get the add-ons to work themselves once they're installed properly, I'd love to help you guys with that. Hey, if you're having trouble installing them too, I can also help you with that. So again, guys, if you're liking the content that I'm producing, comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GamerDevTim, and also join in on the Discord server. All right, guys, that's it for now, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.